What's going on, guys? It's Greg from East Coast Eyes, and welcome to the Epoch Z One review. This is their newest head, something that has gotten a pretty good amount of hype in the social media, and we were pretty pumped to check it out. So Epoch has a history of having a little bit more adventurous of heads, mostly related to how they're offset, so the prequel and the sequel, which in my opinion were both a little underrated, but they were just a little different how they did the offset. And so they're for a very specific player. This Z1 head is going to be the first head from Epoch that's going to fall into that more traditional lacrosse offset where it happens here and then goes straight across back a little bit. So let's dig into this head. It is $90. It's going to come in white and black. $90 for Epoch is the first time they've had a head launched not at $100, so $10 cheaper than what they used to launch their heads at, and then $90 is what most heads launch at. Looking at the head in general and Epoch's overall head landscape, they do a lot of things that I like, and one of them is they give technical data or numbers to pretty much all the specs for the head. So firstly, the Z1 stands for a Zone 1 bottom rail shape, and this is going to be your low pocket bottom rail design. What they call this is the travel, so how far from the lowest point in the head to the top of the scoop, how far the ball has to travel if you put the pocket where they intend it to be. But this is the low pocket design. That's what Z1 stands for. They've already sort of advertised that there'll be additional Zs, so maybe a Z3 or 4 that would then move that bottom rail pocket up in the head and presumably keep the rest of the stuff about the head pretty similar. Some other information they give you is the IQ or the flex rating that they borrow from their shaft. So this head is an IQ 4. That means it's a little bit softer than the normal heads. The weight is about 4.85 ounces on our scale, which is definitely lightweight, the median weight for a head being around 5 or a little bit more. This one being a little bit less than that. It is very, very light. It looks light too. I mean, the rails are very thin. It's very, very sleek and streamlined. So it looks light. It feels really light when you pick it up, and 4.85 ounces is very light. But with that reduction in weight, you do get a little bit of loss in stiffness. So I'm thinking this head is mostly geared toward attackmen. They developed it with their 3 pros for outdoor: Dylan Malloy, Colin Heacock, Matt Rambo, and these guys are all obviously some of the best attackmen in the world. So great head for attackmen where you're not going to need all that stiffness, but it is very, very lightweight. The face shape is nice and tight and pinched and high, and like I said, you've got that low pocket bottom rail design. And a final thing they give you is the lie, which in this head is an 8.8, which you can compare to their other heads. So that's the distance between the middle of the shaft and the scoop, so how far down this is from the middle of the shaft. These are all really nice numbers to have, but unfortunately other manufacturers don't put this information out, so you can really only compare it to Epoch heads. So maybe in the future we'll see people hop on this standard, because it'd be really great to, instead of a company saying this head is extra stiff and this one's really stiff, to have real numbers to compare and say this one is actually mechanically more stiffer than that one, or more offset, or all these things just helps you make a better buying decision. So it's cool that Epoch is kind of pioneering that. So getting into the way that the head looks, they've got a new one strut design, adding that lightweight, streamlined look. Some really nice little cuts and fins up here, but overall, it's classic Epoch, very, very clean. Nothing crazy with the texture, all this plain matte. They do have an updated throat jewel here, black with the silver, and the black one is going to come with white and silver. Really clean look for them. Standard dome decal from Epoch. It says Z1 right there. And the face shape, like I said, nice tight pinch, and a really high kind of flare point, and then a shallow scoop curve. So good for ground balls, but I like that nice tight face shape. So looking at the strung one, I've got a Matt Rambo throwback pocket here, as he helped design the head. So we used to string his heads in college, and strung this one with a very similar pattern. So I've got the red Hero 2 Zone Tech, double stacked shooting strings, just how he likes it. Nice and shifty mid-low pocket, which actually works really well with this head. I can definitely see him liking this pocket. And it's strung up really, really well. As far as string holes, they have a lot. I didn't count, but it's definitely plenty. And they've got 4 big ones at the top that you can easily fit 2 strings through. Nice distribution on the top string holes. Usually I like to see bigger sidewall holes, just some of you guys like to get creative, but at least they added the large one at the bottom for a double loop when you go to tie your knot off. But the big thing they have here is a new stringing technology, where you can see on this back face, they've got cuts in on either side right above the string hole. So similar to what Under Armour does with their top string holes, this is going to help you lock that knot in a little tighter, give it a little groove to sit into. And stringing, I did like that. There's always that really satisfying feeling with an Under Armour head, when you lock it into that little drop down, it just seats right in there real nice, and this had that similar kind of feeling. And I also like that string with a wide face here is difficult, so it just makes it a little thinner where you have to tie your knots. So nice tight knots there, and I thought that was pretty effective. The only thing I didn't like is that they're a little sharp. It would have been good to see a little edge there because people already wear through sidewall strings pretty quick, and I could easily see these sharp edges wearing through them a little bit more quickly. So overall, I think it looks really great. Great offering from Epoch. Lightweight, fast head for attackmen. That's definitely who I'd recommend it for. So in my opinion, its biggest competition out there is going to be the new Optic 2.0. This was around 4.75 ounces, so a tenth of an ounce lighter, but that's going to be barely noticeable. You're going to see a very, very similar bottom rail profile there with the same kind of taper, a similar offset. The face shapes are very similar. Maybe this one has this little bit of a higher pinch, and this has a little bit of a higher flare. But in my opinion, if you're an attackman looking for ultra lightweight, these are two good go-tos, and the Z1's another good option for you. So let me know what you think down in the comments. If you've tried one, what you think of the new Z1 head. Like if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't, and have a great day.